This is going to kind of be like a sequel video to the 1500 Friends in Gaming video, in which is I talked about how fun it's been, or at least the TLDR is, I think gaming with friends has been like the most fun way to play games this last year especially, and versus the first 2 years of this channel, this last year has been a lot of playing games with them, and that's going to continue into 2022 and stuff like that, as well as me bringing back in solo games. But one of the things I didn't quite highlight in that video, that why I'm making a quote-unquote sequel, is how much of these things have actually just been on a whim and not planned, and how much I think that's like a positive when it comes to this group of people that I play with. Not that like planned stuff is bad, by the way, by any means. I'm kind of tired, so I'm going to be all over the place with my words, by the way. Not that that's bad, by the way. I think structure can be great, especially in certain scenarios, certain things you're trying to get done. I mean, I say things are on a whim, but for example, when we're in Discords, a lot of times when we're doing games, we might be like in a private call, so that way everyone in the call is in on the game. So there's still some sense of order and the chaos that we create. But what I mean is like some of the videos this year that have been like bangers. And what I mean by bangers is like either amongst the group of friends or even sometimes some of the subscribers, they weren't planned. They were actually just kind of a thing that we just kind of woke up and rolled into. People's schedules happened to link up, so we just kind of mashed into each other, so to speak, and kind of just went forth with whatever. The only slight planning might have been that we might have already been like, sometimes there were more videos made during a time where we were kind of on a game for a while, but for a large number of it, and I'm going to swap to a scene too later so we can just look at the channel. It's really just kind of been just because we just kind of woke up and felt like it, and so then we did that because we felt like it, and we'll give some examples. But I wanted to bring that up too because I think the spontaneity of these group of people that I play with, so to speak, is a plus for them too. As entertaining as I've been called sometimes, my counter argument usually is that I also think the people I play with are entertaining too, and it's like a collaborative effort that kind of makes these things go, right? Like if it was just me, then I could just make solo videos and it would be fine. But like I don't, first of all, solo TTT would probably be terrible. Solo GTA is definitely terrible. And some other things we'll get into. But I just wanted to take the beginning part of this video before going over the second part to just kind of highlight the people that I play with, all of them, all the list of them. I know I've started putting like the heads of people around the border, for example, but there's like a lot more people that aren't there yet because I haven't finished cropping their heads out of stuff. But also just because like they carry a lot of those videos just as much as I do. And if anything, I'd say we like bounce off of each other as a squad is how that works. So even if it's just me and one other person, like it's usually like that dynamic that really gets it going more so than like just me. And I want to kind of highlight that because I think that's pretty cool. Now we're going to swap scenes so we can go over the channel. I can show you some examples of some of the things that I mean when I say by a whim, and also kind of some other things to talk about as well, just to make sure that people know. I'm pretty sure a lot of people that are watching this are said friends, but in case they don't know this, or it's anybody else, they can also be aware that there's also a lot of like jokes and stuff that happen and other dynamic stuff where it is like it's at a level, it's still at a friendship level, even if it doesn't seem like it. Like it's all either an inside joke or it's not serious, no actual hard feelings and stuff like that too. So let's swap over so you can see what some of that stuff looks like. I'm also going to need my glasses. You get both non-glasses and glasses me for this video is what that means, because as you might be able to see, my eyes are red. I am actually tired, but for some reason not sleepy. Sucks, but here we go. You know what I got going for me, at least, is that because I'm further away now in the corner, I look a little bit better just by default. But let's scroll back to roughly here. Actually, we can go back even a little bit further, and well, you know what, we'll go all the way back, not to the very beginning, but let's go on a trip a little bit. Why don't we, while we're here? This video is probably not going to be that short, but I'm going to try not to make it too long either. But if we go back to, it's like, I want to say it's around here. It's around here somewhere. Yes, it's around here because this is when Hope from Home happened. It was a charity event back in April at the beginning of the pandemic and lockdown and stuff like that. At that point, since we were indoors anyways, I went and did this like what I call this 50-day challenge, where I just tried to make 50 videos for 50 days, edit them, put them up, everything. A lot of them were like let's plays because there's a lot of games in my backlog I hadn't played yet or hadn't finished, and so that's what I did. So I replayed like Mega Man 11. We played some one-off games too, like I think Siren Head. There was Siren Head down there. There's Boris from Bending the Ink Machine. There's two of them there. Hello? YouTube? The YouTube might be broken. Sonic Forces even, because I wanted my own opinion on that. Some VR chat a little bit with Kimple. Hat in Time. We did all of that. We went that, and we made it the whole 50 days. I even did a follow-up upload video on that. And then I kind of did some skit videos, some in-between videos, a little bit of Helltaker as well. And then we accidentally did like another one because we rolled into Danganronpa. I finally got to play it on the channel, which was nice. We played the first game, we immediately rolled into the second game. These are some of the longest videos I've ever made. I never want to play a game where I have to make almost 4-hour episodes, but yeah, that's a thing. So we have all this here as well, some in between stuff. We rolled into No Straight Roads for the first time, which was fun. I mean, we get tens of thousands of views. For some reason that blew up, and it was very nice, don't get me wrong, but I still don't even know. I couldn't even tell you why. It's definitely not the thumbnails alone, I'll tell you that. And then we rolled into Ultra Despair Girls, and then we rolled into V3 as well. And then we rolled into the school mode for the first game. And that takes us about to the end of the year. We had the Thankmas actually in there as well, Thankmas 2020. By the way, Thankmas 2021 is going to be a thing this year. Again, a charity event. I'll talk more about that, I promise, later. But when we rolled into this year, something happened. It's right around here, as you can see it. What I meant to do, talking about on a whim here, was I meant to go live. I started, for January, there was a lack of videos because I was streaming a ton more on Twitch than I was doing videos on YouTube. And I accidentally hit record instead of go live this particular day. So these like 5-ish videos, 5, maybe up to 7 videos, were all like a 5-hour block that I hit record instead. And I decided, you know what? Well, I might as well upload these. Sure enough. And this is back when I kind of used to do full maps. So that's why they also used to be this long, was because it was just like, you know, here's one map and then maybe a second map. Or the first map we finished in like 15 minutes. So that's why they used to be kind of long, where there's like a theme. Like this is when we were on the moon. This is we were at the wrestling map, for example. We were at, what's it called? San Andreas, Grove Street. Man, I can't remember nothing. It's tiring. I need to go to sleep. If only I was sleepy and not just tired. But anyways, the fun thing though about all of this, right? This is where like the Curse of Chiaki started developing. Yeah, that's right. Was again on a whim. It was not planned. It was not planned, and that's what's like, in my opinion, awesome. Again, not because planned stuff is bad, but it's just because like you would think maybe it was how just well some of these just kind of went, that we planned it out, even if it wasn't like word by word in a full script. Like we had like bullet points that we wanted to cover, and we kind of just didn't. We kind of like, even this video, we were in VR chat and Graphic linked us an alignment test, and I was just like, what if I just do this as a video, just a spur of the moment kind of a thing. Which then even leads us to this, right? I don't remember the exact specifics of this, but I remember I went to Steam's Discord and he was chilling with Melody and Odaman. And Odaman had to go teach class, actually. He has like a robotics class that he teaches. And so we were talking about that a bit, and then he had to go teach it. And then we decided, I don't remember exactly why, but to jump onto GTA. Now, at the time, I really didn't play GTA online, that is, that often. What I was doing was kind of like getting on and doing like what I used to do back in 2014, 2013, 2015. Get on, steal a baller truck, sell it for $9,000, wait 48 minutes, and then do it again. And that's how I made money. It was not very efficient and not very good in 2021, in which case Odaman informed me of Heist, for example. Which leads to this string of 5 videos right here. Was the next day we decided to get back together and we did the Humanes Lab Heist. And it was very interesting because I like briefly kind of heard about Heist like a little bit, but I didn't really know about Heist or had done one or anything like that. So there was definitely a chaotic day, let's put it that way. And this is severely cut down. And I actually have the full length video of all of this. This actually full length was a good 3-5 hours, and I still have it on this computer, as a matter of fact, because of how fun and memorable it was to me. Even this video where we tried to steal the jets and stuff, and I told Steam about how I met DMX once in Hawaii, which was interesting. Which then we roll into this, which I can also mention this too. This was back when Twitch allowed me to save my VODs. It doesn't right now, or not save them on Twitch, but I used to be able to download them. I can't still, for some reason, I don't know why. And I haven't figured that out yet. But this was a situation where I could do that, and so I did, and I chopped them up and made them into YouTube videos. Minecraft specifically is kind of hard to make YouTube videos for, because if there's not a lot happening, it's one thing when you're streaming it and people are like watching you build stuff live. When you're kind of like trying to do like a video for it, it's definitely harder if not a lot is happening. Fortunately, a lot was happening in these 2 videos. We were trying to go get a fox cheeks. That's kind of how that was born from. We were trying to get a fox in Minecraft, which is one of the hardest things to get in Minecraft, it turns out. But we did it, of course, because we're awesome. That's what we do. But anyways, like this, for example. I never really planned ever to record Minecraft, but we jumped into like a game map, and I was like, okay. And at the Pacific night, yes, Pacific, because it was late at night, Pacific Standard Time. Digi was also streaming. He hadn't really streamed VR chat in quite some time too, but he spontaneously also decided to stream VR chat. So I'm like, okay, I'll record. Graphic took us to, I forget the name of the world, but it's right here, Wavelength. You might have heard of it. And I decided to record it, and that was actually pretty fun. Obviously, we can't go through every single last video, but some of these are like a collection of videos when I talk about on a whim. Like we do these things and they end up being entertaining, right? Like this almost has 100 views. That's way more than just a few of us in the Discord at this point, right? And people are entertained by it. And it's, again, just there's no structure. And I think there's something about that. Basically what I'm saying is it's not a knock against structure. It's just the fact that without planning, these people are very entertaining regardless. And I think that's worth mentioning and noting and highlighting. Even this is more Minecraft stuff, kind of. Even Valheim, Helicopter. This is the first time we played it, and I insulted Thor, and so a troll came and started smashing our base. The modded server. The first time I was doing the testing the limits of YouTube, I mentioned I was going to test the limits. I was going to push YouTube. YouTube has been making a lot of creator actually favored changes, and I wanted to push how favorable those changes were. And so that's when I announced that I was going to do it, and I had started doing it. And so what we see in the next following videos for like the next 6 months is me pushing some of that stuff. Even this, okay, so this was a whim too. This is Elder Scrolls Online. This is ESO, all right? I had never played an MMO or anything like that. And it's part of why I haven't tried any more, actually, is because I got very addicted. I very much like this. The only reason that I didn't get more addicted than I kind of did at the time was because I was on Wi-Fi. And so there were points where the lag was kind of a thing. Then apparently that was why, or part of why, a contributing factor was being on Wi-Fi. So sometimes I travel like across like a town and then I kind of rubber band back towards the start, and it kind of killed my motivation to kind of keep going. Otherwise, I probably would have played it for a lot longer, to be honest. And even this, okay, so again, VR chat. We kind of jumped into VR chat after doing this one. I was like, I'll do it again. Why not? And so we did. This was actually all one night that I broke up into 3 videos, right? With this being a 4th one, because there were some people that weren't in these videos that I wanted to be at least in one video, because I thought this was going to be it for VR chat. And I was like, I'm never probably going to record VR chat again, so I want to try and make sure I got as many people in a VR chat video as possible. So since that's, you know, kind of one and done, I can, you know, we can have that memory. We can all look back on these ones. So then we had Tanks and Graphic and Capson and Digi and people in this one. But then we got like Table Flip and Lucy and some other people that weren't in these ones in this one. I'm like, cool, we got most everybody. There we go. And then TTT kind of came back after a month. We were kind of rusty a bit, but it came kind of back. And so that's kind of been a continuing thing. Same thing. We kind of just, the titles and stuff kind of create themselves as we actually play the games and the rounds and see whatever happens. Of course, there's the running joke about being killed by Lucy, of course, which is why Chiaki ends up being in a lot of these at the time. But there's also some other things too, like this was Lote's best accomplice play, Gramps' sidekick play. We didn't go, hey Lote, like in team chat and be like, hey Lote, here's what we need you to do for a funny moment. We need you to kill the both of us, because that would be hilarious. It was hilarious, but it was unplanned. It's in the video, and there's a clip of Lote doing it on her stream. It's funny, especially now, all this time later, but it wasn't planned. But it's still very entertaining, right? And then we get to this video, which is the first time I learned about everything else in Grand Theft Auto. Like, I learned about the heist, okay? I kind of knew about heist, and then I ran through a heist. And then this, you want to talk about a whim. This is the story about how this video became a thing right here. Open link in new tab, all right? We're not going to watch the whole thing. But we only need to go to the beginning, actually, too, because there's something at the beginning here. Hold on. You're not going to be able to see it that well, but you can kind of see in front of me right here. This is the back bumper of Lucy's car here. We're here because it's one of the repair shops, because that had already fallen off. Because here's how this starts, all right? We're in like a Discord call. It's like a Sunday. I remember it being a Sunday for some reason. I don't know why that matters, but I remember that. It's back in March, all right? ESO, I tried to get into it, but again, the rubber banding thing and all that stuff, etc., not working. Cool, okay. Well, we're in a call, and because Table Flip is friends with me on Steam, it shows you like when people start playing a game. So he said out loud, that I was playing Grand Theft Auto. That tattletale. How dare he? No, I'm just kidding. I don't really care, to be honest. I'm not, like, that's my point of inside joke. Even if he saw that, he knows I'm not serious. So he's not actually sitting there like, wow, my feelings are hurt, man. How could you do me like that and call me out? It's like, no, he doesn't. He does not care. He's fine. And also, I'm not serious. That's also part of it. Obviously, if I cared about that, I'd turn my thing on invisible so that way no one could see if I'm ever playing anything. But the point is, he said that. So then Lucy, who also happened to be in the call, jumped on. And at first, we couldn't find each other because what I didn't know is at first I was spamming this race called peer to peer. It's a race that gives me nostalgia from back when I played back in 2014 and stuff for various reasons. I won't get into because this video will be too long. But when I finished that race, instead of it put me like in an invite instance, and I didn't know that for like a good 20 minutes that she was trying to find me. So then I realized that was the situation. I wasn't like in a public to be found. So then she actually just sent a friend request instead. And so then we connected that way. And I believe, if I remember correctly, the first reason we're here is because either she hit something or she hit me with her car. I don't remember. It's one of those two things. But anyways, the bumper falls off of this thing for some reason very easily. And it's just kind of funny because this is actually coming just out the repair shop. And then that leads into that whole, it was like a good 4 hours actually. The first 30 minutes wasn't recorded because I wasn't going to record at first. I didn't have the idea to record. Then funny stuff kept happening. And that's usually kind of how it works. Eventually it goes like, I'm not going to record. And then funny stuff starts happening. I'm like, I probably should record this. Maybe, it'd be a nice video. And then the idea goes, okay, well then what about the people who aren't, here? With VR chat for a while, that actually became the reason why I kept doing VR chat videos. It's just because like sometimes people have to go to work or they have to go to sleep even because maybe it's late, and so they might miss out on some funny joke or something if I don't, because no one else is streaming or whatever. As long as it's not a super private thing. Like there's certain situations where it's very clear to me that I shouldn't record, even if I'm not going to post it, not record at all, and so then I don't record. There's even one video, I forget the video it was, where Graphics like, are you recording? And I'm like, crap, I'm not recording. So there's actually more often than not that I'm not, and then I do. But this was one of the instances I decided to do so, and it turned out to be great because I knew nothing. I felt, and I always say this, I felt like I was very annoying, actually, this whole like 4 hours that we just go on a tour, because there was the casino, well, there's the nightclubs, there was arcades. Like when I say it's like a 4 hour thing, like I said, the first 30 minutes were like that because then I started hitting record, and then like it's like a 3.5 hour video, but like the last half hour of that has like a troll in it that I kind of have to cut around when she's showing us like the bunker. I still have the full like 3.5 hour. Speaking of, I have the TTT videos with Steam and Melody in them somewhere. I have our TTT videos in terms of like Digi and crew somewhere as well, and then I actually have this full video still actually on my computer as well, just because how memorable this was, because this kind of spawned a whole thing with GTA stuff, as a matter of fact. I don't think I'll up, it's funny enough because I have like the Danganronpa playthroughs up, some of those being 4 hours, but I didn't put this up, which was like a 3.5 hour. I might put it up at some point. I don't know. I don't know if I will, just because we have the nice shorter version. But that was actually a nice, like just brain open kind of a thing, because I was just like, as a 2014 player, boy did I not know all of this stuff was in this game. There was so much stuff that was in here now that I had no idea about, as a matter of fact. The gun range and the penthouse and the maybe I'll put it up there one day. We'll call it like, like there's like the Zack Snyder Justice League cut, or the Schneider cut, whatever they call it. It'll be called like the Lucy, and I guess Table Flip was in there too, cut. It feels bad because like Table Flip's part is like cut around a lot, because then that's when the troll shows up, unfortunately. So maybe we'll call it that, and I'll put it up there. And then if you want to watch the long version, you can, especially if you're one of those two people that were actually in the video and you want to know or want to rewatch the long version. But yeah, the funny thing about that was, in that spawned the GTA videos, because then after we did that, and then listening to me just having so much fun learning about all this stuff that exists that I didn't know about, other people that had played the game sometimes started playing it too. So you had this video, right, where Graphic, we had to go rescue Chang from like a motel out in the desert, and we had a shootout, and I lost the barrel too. I lost the barrel 1 in the first heist. I lost the barrel 2 because it actually ended up getting shot up so badly. And that one, it looks like in the video I make it look like it survives the mission. It does not survive the mission. But yeah, that's, you want to talk about a whim. All of the GTA stuff kind of launches off of that. So you can kind of blame Table Flip a little bit, I guess, but like in a positive way, just like you could blame Lucy in a positive way. Like sometimes blame is positive. I don't think they're gonna take offense. I'm not gonna probably get a message being like, "Hey, idiot, what do you mean blame?" I think, I don't know actually, to be honest. Maybe I should not. But that spawns like all these, the orbital cannons, the parkours, there's a lot of stuff, and then more TTT stuff, as you see, more GTA stuff with the intervention and all that stuff that went wrong. The DeLorean, which, boy, I could talk about that again, actually, because that was funny. More VR chat. Now, this is actually an interesting one. I want to bring up this particular VR chat video only because You want to talk about habits, because apparently, you know, being creatures of habits and stuff like that. Here's the funny thing about this specific video. If I go to like here, no, it's like it's more towards the beginning. If I go, oh, it's like really at the beginning. If I go here, if it'll load, we'll see. Okay, so like when I put Digi in a thumbnail for a lot of things, I usually actually use this right here. And is it gonna load? It's not gonna load. YouTube, not now. I know it's a long video. I'm gonna try and end it in a couple minutes here. Hold it together for me a little longer, buddy. YouTube, hey YouTube. There we go. Okay, so the nice thing about this specific one is I'm kind of boring when it comes to thumbnails and it comes to people in the thumbnails. And what I mean by this is I kind of use the same like one, maybe a second image for everybody. And at this point, it's like a recognition thing, right? If you see a thumbnail and you see that thing in there, you know you're in the video. And even if you don't, you might actually still be in the video. But if you see that, you know what exactly to look for. You would anyways, depending, of course, but like I could use something different for him. But the reason why I use like this one, for example, is you can't see it because by the time I upload a video, a lot of the quality is actually deteriorated. But this particular world, the background is just kind of blurry by nature, which makes grabbing things in the foreground a lot easier with the quick selection tool in Photoshop, actually, as a matter of fact. So with this image, for example, the background, it doesn't look like it here, but it is blurry enough that when I screenshotted this from the video when I was editing, it just made this kind of just grab it right off. And so that's why I kind of use the same kind of images. As a matter of fact, let me open Photoshop real quick. So now we're getting a little bit off topic, but I want to open Photoshop real quick because it has this thing called the quick selection tool over here, which is the circle with the giant or tiny circle with like the little square or cross in the center of it. And because the background's somewhat like it's a better quality here because it was when I was editing it. When I start grabbing it, it'll just pretty easily grab him against the background. The colors of his avatar, for example, contrast with the background here enough that it's very easy actually to grab him off of this. So throughout that video, I actually went and grabbed people's thumbnails. It's not really about the whole theme of the video, I know, but just on a side note, if you've ever been wondering, why does he use that specific image over and over and over and over and over? First of all, laziness. Second of all, you know, that's the thing. As much as I'm called a workaholic, I'm lazy. So that kind of contradicts that. But anyways, this is part of why this particular world does this very well. Another example was this image right here, as a matter of fact. Until this, I had this one image actually that I used for Lucy, which was the Placo. And yeah, it kind of does grab her kind of easily. You would have to go back with the minus tool if you want to get that out of there. The other solution, which takes a lot longer, is you go and you take like a color, and then what you do is you have to zoom in a lot. Once you get the color going, you have to shrink that down, and you have to zoom in a lot to like pixel level and try and go like around. I'm not doing it perfectly right now. Well, after all, I have to do this. Hold on. Go away. Back. And then you have to like go around the person. You have to like trace them completely. I'm not going to do it well right now, but you do that, and then you color the rest of that in, and then you use the eraser tool, the magic eraser tool, and then you nuke the background, and then you get a cutout. And so that's one way to do it. That takes a long time. It could work though, and it can be nice. Or fortunately, you could just have stuff like this. So once again, when you go and take the quick selection tool and you just grab like that, then you just get that, and then it's perfect, and then there you go. And that's what I did for a lot of people right there, as a matter of fact. And it's great because it actually gave me really good quality images for a lot of people, as a matter of fact. Don't save that. So that's how that works. So that's just a kind of a side note about that particular video, which is kind of nice. Even this. So this is the Steam Paris trip. You have part 1 and part 2, because this could have been one video. It could have been one like 47-minute video, but I wanted to stop making these long videos unless they had a specific purpose. Like this video can be long because it's just really me praising my friends for like 30 minutes, and I don't mind that. They might mind that actually more than I might mind that, funny enough, and that's fine. But this was like that, and I broke it up. There's the first video where it was kind of like we're going over different Monokuma impressions if he was voiced by different things like Darth Vader and Goofy, as well as Steam talking about his trip to Paris. This part, it talks about like what if Bury the Light was remixed to have DMX like hype man moments in it. Like you just had random DMX growls and barks and lines in it with Be the Bot, and that was just kind of funny for its own reasons. Again, just because we just in VR chat, we just jumped in there and we did that. The tank video, the infamous tank video. I say infamous because it's like, it's so dumb to challenge a tank to a one-on-one death match, it turns out. But this was another example of a whim, and I already within a whim, because all of GTA started on a whim. But this was actually specifically, I had a $9,000 bounty. All right. Lote happened to have a $7,000 bounty. Now I thought this was going to be like a three-way between me, Lote, and Lucy. But what turns out happening is Lote's like, hey, what if we tag team Lucy instead? Turns out she had a tank though, so she was more than prepared to deal with the both of us. But even all of that was not planned, and that's the point. It was just, the only thing that was planned was like, I just said, hey, I got a bounty and I don't mind like just fighting for it if one of you guys want to come and take it. Because usually when anyone has a bounty in the squad, someone takes it anyways. Someone shoots somebody, yeah, just, and it's no hard feelings, but it's like, it's free money. So I'm like, why not, well, if people are free today, why not, just, we'll go down there. And the thing about it is, like, that ends relatively quickly. My connection was having an issue connecting, but once it did, and once we got to that part, we got blown up, and she claimed both the bounties, and that was it. It was over in 7 minutes. The rest of the adventure, though, between the tank, the C car, doing the biker missions and stuff like that, like all this spawned off of that. And like there was a good group, like Chrono, Graphic, a lot of people joined in, tanks. We ended up having a whole like day off of this. And I guess that's what I'm talking about a little bit too. It's not just their entertainment, it's also just having fun with friends, and how that can be spawned off of the smallest thing too. And how fun that is. Some more GTA stuff, some more Grand Theft Auto stuff, even with Odeman and some other people as well too. Like not to forget that crowd either. Suffering with Steam on British Ping, that was a fun video. Of course, we have the Hot Chiaki video. We got some other stuff up in here too. And then we got some solo stuff here and there. We finally went back to Danganronpa 2 to do the Mono Beast thing, because that was the funny thing about the last video. Haha. Let's take the Chiaki clip and let's just take the piss out that video and just completely ignore everything else and take that one part out of it. Congratulations, bravo, everybody. The context was like we did the first school mode, we're doing the second school mode, and people voted to do the Chiaki route. Now, could I have worded that better? Absolutely. But like, there was context, and that was it. We're gonna do that eventually. And people think that I'm dodging it. They think that I'm like cowarding away from it. I'm not. I realize people are starting to finally get through the first two games. I'm like, okay, I can wait. I can wait a little long. Like Lote even finally started the first Danganronpa game. It's like, okay, cool. Then I can wait a little longer. I don't mind. It's not like we're time sensitive on this. Even this one, okay? Even this is an example of on a whim where Capstan happened to have like 3 codes, all right? Digi got a code from somebody else. Capstan had 3 codes besides their own, by the way. So because the 4 of us were in a call, I don't even know why it was us 4 in the call. It was like 1 in the morning. They were like, yo, you and Table Flip want 2 of the codes? And we're like, sure. And so we played that for like 4 hours. And so I cut it down to 30 minutes. That was just because. And it's just like, I don't know. There's just something I keep trying to reiterate about. I don't know how entertaining the squad finds themselves or not, but I find them very entertaining. Some of them have definitely called themselves, or they don't think that they're funny. They're wrong, and that's just I make the rules on that one. Unfortunately, I don't make the rules on a lot of things. Sometimes I'm just the messenger. I make the rules on that one though. They're wrong on that one. But I guess what I will say though, because I am kind of pushing this idea that this is why we play together. It's not like it's the only reason. It's like, oh, these guys are entertaining and funny, otherwise I wouldn't play with them. There's like a lot of other reasons why I enjoy being around all of them. From Steam to Odeman to Melody to Digi to Lucy to Table to Z-Box to all of them. I can name all of them, right? There's reasons why I find all of them very entertaining and fun to be around. And it's not because they're fun and entertaining necessarily 24/7 like an on switch and they have to be pinnacle funny top peak performance all the time. No, there's sometimes. Like at first, when I was first joining TTT calls and there was silence, it was awkward silence, sure. But now sometimes it's just because we're chilling and vibing, and that's totally fine, by the way. But I think that's just fun and also just like great that it's just like, hey, I want to eventually get through some things on YouTube, some games and stuff that we've been meaning to play, some projects that I want to get off the icebox and finally get my duster off and get them nice and going. But it's been fun to look back at this year and still see like a plethora of videos nonetheless. And see all the craziness that we've done, because these videos could not have been recorded any other time, right? Like the Chiaki thing we could record that whenever, right? This is stuff that had to be recorded when it was recorded because certain things were happening, like this, or even the tank battle, or even all that other stuff. Funny thing about this video, though, because I guess what I'll do is I'll start transitioning to that other part I was going to mention, and because this video, like I said, it's just going to be long, and usually I would apologize for that, but not this time. This time, I love my friends a bit too much to care. Unless you're one of them watching and you got other things to do and you're trying to be supportive by watching the whole video, maybe I should wrap it up a little bit. We'll start with the heist video, because here's the thing. This was in August, and these videos were put out in August, but were recorded in May. So we'll start with this one, actually. Fun fact about this video first. One second, I gotta pull up the thumbnail and stuff. So if we jump into Photoshop here, and the reason I jump into Photoshop is you can see the image a bit more clear than you might be able to on YouTube. So here's the thing, there's like a quote-unquote GTA stylized. If you use certain filters and stuff, you can kind of make an image look GTA-ified. It mainly works better if your image isn't drawn though. But the thing about this, right, is I didn't actually do that from actual images. I had to draw these first. In my mind's eye, I had an idea for a thumbnail I wanted to do. And this is kind of it for the most part, actually. So I'm kind of still okay with how it came out. I'm a little bit not okay with certain parts. Like there's certain parts of each of the 4 that I drew here that's not perfect. And because I'm a perfectionist, I can see them and I hate it. But because I don't point them out necessarily, you can't see them. And so maybe you don't hate them as much. But it's also kind of funny just when I was going through these. So one of the things that I did was use myself as a reference for getting like 4 different poses done. I'm starting to slur my words. I need to kind of wrap this up, don't I? Because of what I said, my mind's eye had an image for a thumbnail I was going to do. Eventually, like the like fighter jets and the Velum, whatever the heck. I don't care. Look, no one cares. It's a bad plane. The helicopter was going to be in here as well, somewhere as well. There's going to be more explosions in here. I had a whole idea, but I actually eventually just wanted to get the video out because I was also low-key afraid. It had been 3 months. What if my computer randomly got corrupted and I lost all that before I could even get that up? That would suck, wouldn't it? At least we're a bit more, like with GTA, we're pretty much current for the most part. There's like 1 or 2 things left, and they're kind of works in progress still, so they're not even completed to get out yet, so that's great. So this took a while, though. Admittedly, I want to say Digi's was both the hardest and the easiest to make, because his was kind of from scratch, because he was the prison guy. So his attire is the prison guy's attire that his character wore. So like the tank top and the orange like pants, but then I put like Frag's face on the top of it. And it's funny because like, this was an outdated design, and it's funny about all of these. Now these 2 in particular aren't necessarily outdated, but my point is when I started this project, it was like back in May, and neither of them cared, by the way. But when I started back in May, like these were the main avatars they were still using in VR chat, for example. And I started using the VR chat models in GTA thumbnails because I had a hard time grabbing people's actual characters from GTA, like out of screenshots. And now I could not be, you know, stupid and maybe just ask these people if they would be willing to like just get a screenshot, a nice high definition screenshot of their character, and then I could use that in thumbnails instead. Or I could not be a bother and just find a way around that and do this instead. But that's also why, just on a side note, everyone's like, why do you use the VR chat avatars in the GTA videos? Why is that? That's why. And like the thing earlier, I used the same 1, maybe 2 images for that reason too. Same thing. I could just ask, because like VR chat even has green screen stuff. I could just ask them to be like, hey, if it's not a problem, when you're the next time in VR chat, don't go do it now, just, you know, when you have the time. If you just like green screen or something like a selfie or whatever, that'd be great for thumbnails, because then people could have alternate poses and stuff too if they wanted something different than the same thing they keep always getting. You know, I'm gonna hate myself if I keep rambling on this point, because now I'm like, maybe I should just hit some people up, but some people are asleep now, or they're at work, and I have a rule, I don't bother people when they're asleep or at work. So then I'm gonna have to not do it until like tomorrow, and then tomorrow I'm gonna forget. That's gonna be fantastic. Maybe I should leave this in the video when I'm editing, so this can be my own reminder. Anyways, the point is, so there's a couple things that I could have done better on all of these, to be honest. My guy's in the guard uniform because I was a security guard, and then Tanks and Lucy were flying the plane and the helicopter respectively. And it was fun actually doing this though. So on one hand, I complain about they're not perfect. On the other hand, what's fun though is people seem to like the video and like the idea, the concept, the attempt anyways. And two, sometimes some of the fun is just still attempting something anyways, right? There's a lot, it turns out there's a lot more detail in these three too than I originally thought. Cause like, contrary to popular belief, when I'm usually in VR chat with people, I am kind of usually looking at them in the eye. I have realized, because sometimes I see people on like people's streams, that when I look up as Monokuma, unless I'm looking like straight up, the model doesn't actually look up all the time. Like I'll be looking up, but because of like the, I don't guess the height difference or whatever, his head might barely move up, so it looks like he's still looking straight, but I'm looking up, and you can see usually when I do a video, from my point of view, I'm looking up. So it's funny that for a lot of these people, they have a lot more detail in their avatars than I thought. To the point, one second actually. The way my drawing process works when it comes to like detail and stuff is I have to draw it on paper, take a picture of it, then I have to, oh, do I not have the version of it here? Is there, where's the, okay, so this okay, so this would be a good example, I guess. We'll start, well, why is Tanks' head over there? So first and foremost, I had to separate people's bodies and heads, because when I drew the bodies, I didn't leave enough room for their heads. Words. Oh, this is a good example. So I have to draw it on paper first. Then I have to go into paint and line it again. Then I can black and white it, so then I can finally start coloring it. So it's the same thing here. I had to draw this, and then you have to line it, and then I have to draw the heads too. And it's definitely a long process because of that, versus being able to just jump straight to this and get a neck in there and get a head on it. And funny enough, on a side note with Lucy's too, which is funny because what I was saying earlier was a lot of people have a lot more detail than I knew of, because I don't really actually look at like their entire bodies that often actually. So it was funny because I think hers took, everybody else combined took less time to do than hers, because every time I thought I was done, I'd look at one of the reference images I have. I only have the two, but I'd realize there's something more there than what I caught, and I was like, oh, now I gotta go put that in there. I gotta go put the little thingies on the ends here, or over there, or on the side there. Where's the completed one? There's like detail under this part, like a pocket, that I had to go put under the hand, and like all the little bars and dash bars on like the skirt thing over there, or even the inside of the jacket. I never knew the inside of the jacket had that design. So like and that was like the case for like all of them though. There's like little things I'd notice. I'm like, yes, I'm finally done. And then I'd look and be like, no, I'm not. That's two different tones of purple on like Tanks' hoodie. Now we have to go back in and do it all over again. It was fun though, I guess is what I'm saying too. And like I said in the other video, these people I'd say are worth doing that kind of work for, even if I said that there's definitely flaws. And not the headless thing is not the only flaw with all of them. Actually, like I said, I'm a perfectionist, so there's like little things I noticed too. And also because I kind of just wanted to make sure I got it out before anything got corrupted. There was a point where I kind of cut off doing any more detail. So like with Tanks and Lucy specifically, they lose a lot of detail in their hair that actually should be there. Kind of like lines and stuff even is just not there, because I kind of went, I kind of have to get this out now. Like I just had a gut feeling I needed to get it out just in case. Fortunately, nothing actually happened, so that didn't come to pass. But that was a thing just on a side note to notice, because like, hey, what if it'd just be my luck that I'm doing all this, I get done with the thumbnail and stuff, and then boom, corruption. It's all over. It's gone. It's like, oh, then what I'm gonna do? I don't know. Back over to Photoshop, right? So then the fun thing about these assets is I'm probably going to even use them again at some point in the future. Like I used them for this one. This was the Humane Labs. So I did like, how like when people have like the camouflage stuff, they kind of have like the stuff on their chins, maybe cheeks. That's what I did here. You can't really see it on mine, which is unfortunate, but you can see it on everyone. That's what that's supposed to be. If you saw that, you're like, what is that supposed to? It's because we went we went stealth and everything with the labs itself, and we had to do that sniper mission where it's like, you got detected. No, I didn't. I'm not even near the detection. You got detected anyways. You're terrible. Your terrible detection skills, game. That's what that was about. But that was kind of fun. Which was also fun because I didn't want to just do the thumbnail thing. Part of the reason why I wanted to create the assets was to do like, when you're like doing the GTA loading screen or whatever, and it has like a person's name or whatever, and then it has like the text and stuff. Like I made text for everybody. Right, so I like Tanks is actually really, really great, and the pilot and stuff like that, I put that in here, even where Tanks said she got the name from, Go Tanks, right, and you just got the go out of it, from Dragon Ball Z, stuff like that. Lucy, we talked about best pilot in GTA, of course, and then we had the backgrounds too, which was fun. So you had, of course, the helicopter, you had the Vellum, you had the Space Needle, because Seattle and stuff, right, and then you had Ohio. And then you had the protagonist himself. So yeah, there's definitely flaws, but like it was a fun idea. And this was an idea as creative and fun and challenging as it was, that was spawned off of a whim, off of a call on a Sunday in March. And that's, I don't know, some of that is just interesting to me. So then as we kind of conclude, I said we're going to transition into the final part. We kind of then wrap around to some of the points I made in the last video, like we did the Digi's like legal defense video, which was very fun to do. We've done some solo videos, like we did Poppy Playtime, but like that one was for his birthday. We did this one down here for Lucy for her birthday. We did this part 2 of the YouTube testing the limits. We have some fun results. If you haven't seen this video, it's also long, so I actually understand. It's like 3 videos in one, actually. The TLDR YouTube has done a lot of good monetization changes actually for people. You can now curse in videos, but there's still some work to go. They have a long way to go still before they completely turn the ship around. But there's some decent stuff in there. And so on occasion, there's still some solo stuff. We've done another VR chat video. We went to Public World, some more Minecraft stuff. Here's the part 1 video, which is so much shorter and better. But yeah, this has been a fun video to do. I'll conclude on like inside joke stuff. Like one of the things I wanted to go over, for example, was actually this video. Okay, so the last TTT video, as much as I talk about some of the fun stuff that's in it, there was this part, right, where I talked about something Graphic said. And I was like, but Graphic didn't get in trouble for it. I'm not actually seriously upset that Graphic didn't get in trouble for that. Like, by the way, first of all, it was more like I'm just surprised he didn't get in any kind of trouble for it. But second of all, it's not like he knows, before I've even done this video, he knows I'm not actually upset that he did not get in trouble for that. By the way, it was just kind of like a funny thing I put in there. But if I've ever said anything like that in any of the videos, it's not actually serious. I'm not actually angry. I'm not actually like, why is that a thing? And yet if I say good morning, I might be in trouble. No, that's not for real, by the way. And I'm pretty sure he knows that. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know that, but like, this is like a just in case kind of a thing, in case people didn't know that. If I've ever said that about anything, it's not real. Because sometimes people like to know stuff just in case, even if they think they know. It's sometimes nice to know they know with a confirmation. So there was that, for example, and then that one that's not actually for serious though. And then there's this one over here. This one over here, where Lucy was like, Gary, do you want to try flying against the jet? When I accidentally see. Sometimes I do take shots at people, like ribbingly though, like stuff, and that means her included. But sometimes I say things and it really is an accident. I really did accidentally apparently insult her flying skills for serious. It wasn't I wasn't actually trying to demean that. But she's not like actually like super ticked off about this either, especially not now. It's been too long. But also even at the time, it wasn't like a for serious thing. Like, I've been talking for so long that my nose is starting to do the thing where it itches obscenely large amounts. So I need to kind of wrap this up. In short, for the most part, they weren't actually like super mad, like actually mad, like hate my guts or something, or like, yo, you need to be punished kind of a thing. Especially because I explained that I wasn't supposed to seriously be coming at them sideways like that. But it's just like, it's things like that. Like, because we've all been around each other enough, we know when people are serious, or even kind of not serious, but still serious, but like not, or if it's like a jokingly serious is the word I tend to use, where it's like, it's serious, but like as a jokingly serious manner. That's what this would fall into. And that's it's fun. That's like a chemistry thing that you build up with people after a while. Like, a lot of us kind of have a dynamic with each other at this point, where if we were all doing one-on-one videos with each other across, there's like a lot of combinations because there's like a good 20 of us, but if we were doing like one-on-one videos across the board, we could all like do a whole adventure depending on what the game is. Of course, if we're playing solitaire, I'm sorry, I don't know if I could actually do a video one-on-one with any of them and succeed in like a solitaire. Actually, I think we could probably pull it off. I'm not gonna lie, these people are actually pretty entertaining enough. We might be able to pull solitaire enough. That might be a bad example. It's supposed to be a good example because I'm supposed to be like, there's not a lot of substance for us to kind of bounce off of there. It would just have to be like we're just having like a social funny conversation with solitaire in the background, more than us actually making solitaire very entertaining. But what I'm saying is, like, because of that, like over time now, there's a lot of that can happen now. And that's also fun because I think because I make videos, or because some of us stream at least a lot more than others, sometimes they're looked at as like the entertaining ones, and they might not always know that for us, they're also entertaining too. They definitely help us do a lot of things that we do. Sure, maybe we can carry stuff by ourselves, right? Like I did Poppy by myself. Digi, for example, who streams a lot, he's done a lot of things by himself too. Tableflip, who's even started streaming now more often. A lot of us can do solo things, but it's just fun to do things with people often, and so that's why we do things with people often, especially the squads that we do them with, because they're fun, right? Like I had the one-on-one video with Odeman, for example, where we did Kyle Perico. He knew nothing about that. Very funny video, split it into 2 parts. Like there's definitely entertainment, even if it's just like a little like small amount of us too, but it's still fun. And even though there's the idea that because some of us do this at least frequently, we're like the entertainers, I think that they should not, the people that don't, shouldn't discredit their, I guess, lack of frequency in doing stuff as well as a sign that they're not also as funny or entertaining or even just as valuable as those of us who we make this like a serious hobby of ours. I guess it's the point that I've been trying to make for like an hour. I could have made this video 2 minutes. I could have saved you a lot of time, but like a lot of things on this channel, I kind of want the memory of this, to be completely honest. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to finish on, so I don't have to make a part 3 though. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind if I have to make a part 3, but I just would rather knock things out. If this video is going to be this long anyways, might as well go over things. Those are just 2 examples, by the way. I could go through some other examples with some other people as well. But I like I said, this video is pretty much long enough as it is, so I think I'm gonna just get to the part where I get to wrap it up and maybe go to sleep. I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm tired. I'm not sleepy, so we're gonna have to find a way to do something about that, I guess. But yeah, and the funniest thing about it too is if I go back a year, at least at the time of recording this video and trying to get it up, it's almost a year since TTT. Now, I mentioned earlier about how like nowadays if we chill on a call and it's silent, we're all probably just chilling, but there was awkward silence. I'll admit it, there was awkward silence because I did not, well, I kind of knew these people, but like in a call scenario, especially if there was only like a handful of us, like 2 or 3 of us, there were definitely times where I just didn't say anything because I just couldn't think of things to say. Versus now, if it was in the same scenario, I would bet money at least that it was just because we're just vibing. We don't need to talk anymore, especially because like half the people are mute anyways. So yeah, that's just fun to think about, like in a year's time, just about, because I've now known these people for longer than that, right? Like I found DigiStream in April of 2020. It's November 2021. That's at least a year and a half. And then I did the thing because I was bored where when you're a mod, you can kind of click on a person's name and scroll back through all their messages. So I went back all the way to when I first started talking to people. So when it came to like Graphic and Lucy and all them, technically when I first started talking to them was May of last year. So it's at least been a year and a half since I first spoke to them. Now, when you want to say we turned the corner and started having inside jokes and stuff is when it really counts. That's still like summer of last year-ish kind of a thing. Between the puns and stuff with Graphic and stuff, because like with of course lockdown and stuff, a lot of us used to hang out really late in VR chat. I want to say, even if you want to say like tanks around the time of TTT and stuff, that's even about a year ago. So there's a lot of people that I could make the argument for where it's just interesting. The point is that it's interesting to look back. That was like a year or a year and a half ago, and now look at where we are now. It's interesting, you know. It's fun. It's cool. We have a lot of fun, a lot of jokes, a lot of stuff we can look back on now. And it's not even just my stuff here, right? This is just my window of it. Other people, obviously, like I said, stream and do stuff now. And even if they don't make videos and stuff, there's still stuff they could bring up. There's still stuff they remember. There's still stuff that could still get people in trouble if we wanted to. I want to talk about trouble. I think, what did I get in trouble for recently? Or I almost got in trouble for? Oh, the maid thing. Yeah. That was funny. That was one of the first jokes that I'm pretty sure got me in trouble. The Lucy made Celeste fast thing. That was kind of funny though. It's still kind of funny a little bit. I'm sorry if you're watching this video. I am sorry, but it's still kind of funny, just like a little bit. There's a lot of stuff though with it. I don't know. It's just fun to look back, even just from the thumbnails, because like the thing about it, I can look at these thumbnails and remember a lot of what's behind these thumbnails. Like my voice is going. It's starting to go now. It's gonna get to the. It's gonna get really bad pretty soon. Actually, it's gonna start doing this thing, and then it's just gonna go, and then it's not gonna be right. The blight fall. Just I don't know. Sometimes I just kind of look at my channel and I reminisce, which is weird maybe because like shouldn't you be reminiscing about things from like decades ago? It's like no, not when you make a lot of days count, and these people make a lot of days count. So I don't know. Granted, I should probably get back to schoolwork, so I can get that over with. Then a lot more of these days could spawn more often because like lately I've not been around, and some people are not happy, but not like actually angry. It's more like they miss me kind of a thing, and so I need to hurry up and finish up so I can get back to them, all of them. So I'm gonna wrap this video up for that exact reason. But so what about games in the future? I guess I'll wrap it up about games in the future because like there's what are some games I might have played or at least tried if I wasn't busy. Because there's some games we've gotten into because of them, because of my friends is what I'm saying. I would have never probably even known about TTT on Gary's mod without them, and now it's one of the funnest games I've ever played with them. I would have probably never touched ESO because I really never heard of ESO. Case in point, VR chat I kind of already played a little bit of, but I definitely most of the stuff I do is with them or with like Steam and Crew, right? Like I was looking for a lot of the one standoff games where I've played with either of the squads. Really, sometimes they overlap even. Can't really find them. More like just when maybe some guest appearances in TTT and stuff. But I don't know. There's actually a couple games I would play if these cats asked me to play them if I wasn't busy. Because there are some games that I fear playing, not because I think they'd be bad. I actually think it'd be a situation where I might get addicted. I did not expect to get addicted to ESO. That was just a very addicting experience. I might even go back and play ESO now that I have an Ethernet cable, even once I get finished with some more stuff, so I'm less busy, right? Like, that came at me from out of left field, and I did not expect that. So there's definitely some games that I haven't played yet that I probably would play, at least with these guys if they asked, if I wasn't as busy. So I can't give you like one specific game. There's probably like a good list of games I would at least try once with these guys, definitely, if they asked. If I had more time, probably, absolutely. I actually would. I'd put that out there. Yeah, I would. And the only reason I haven't is more so a fear that I might actually get addicted and really like it. And then because I know me as a person, I would instead favor playing said game, especially with said people, over doing what I need to do. So for now, I need to just not touch those games. Because if there's the possibility that I'm going to like them and even possibly get addicted, I need to wait. I'm almost done. We're almost at the finish line. And once I cross the finish line, we're done. I don't need to go back. Then I can get addicted all I want, because I'm probably not going to jump into going looking for a job when I graduate immediately. I'm giving myself like at least a week, just a week off from doing anything that I need to do. So in that week, yo, hit me up. Matter of fact, comment with a game right now and be like, yo, you should try this game when you're done. Cool. Might as well at least try it once. What about you though? What's a game? I'll leave it on that one. Let's make it interesting to y'all if you're still watching at this point. What's a game that if you had more time, you think you actually would want to play and have wanted to play, and like one of the only reasons you haven't played it is just because you don't have more time? Not because you didn't think it was interesting, or not because you didn't at least want to give it one go. It's just literally maybe a situation of, I'm just kind of busy right now, and if I ever have more time, then yeah, maybe I'll try it. Go ahead and you can comment with either that answer, or you can comment with a game and you're like, hey, play this game. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll try it, sure, why not? And so we'll see about that. I can give one answer because I know a lot of people have been saying about Phasmo. They wanted me to play Phasmo back in March. Smith, Lote, and Lucy, actually. I was possibly gonna play with them back in March, and then I didn't because it was decided, well, okay, let me go get VR because apparently VR is like the way to play it. And then, well, that's not gonna be till like 2025. So you know, I guess it's like a desktop version. Maybe I'll get it one day. But again, maybe I'll have to wait until I finish though, in case it's one of the situations where I actually end up really liking playing it with people. So I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one because that's a long-standing one. There's a couple others actually, as well. I could, but again, there we go. That's where we're gonna end the video. Long story short, these are great people. This is a great last year worth of videos, and it's built on their backs. So yeah, good stuff. There's definitely some good stuff here. And there's good stuff to come. There's going to be definitely good stuff to come in the future. I am pretty sure. So I'm going to wrap up this video and say thank you so much for watching. There's no need to like, comment, and subscribe, or hit the bell notification. One of the things I will probably do is I'll probably put the Discord link in the comment section though. Just because there's still a couple people in the squad that haven't joined the Discord because I've been lazy about sending them a link. And it's mainly because the Discord, all it is really a ping bot for when videos go live anyways. And then there's like a Chiaki channel, so of course. So I don't really promote it often because it's not really like a community hub kind of a thing. It's really just like, hey, YouTube notifications can kind of be wonky, but if you really want to know when a video goes up, then here you go. Here's a video, or here's a Discord that kind of pings you when videos go up. And there you go. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I'm probably sure I'm forgetting something. I'm definitely forgetting something. I don't know what, but I'm forgetting something. But anyways, I'm gonna end the video. So bye bye.